Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Adam, and today in this new series, the Flight Sim series, we're going to be reinstalling P3D version 4 and all my add-ons in a completely new different way to the way I have been doing it. So let's hope it works. So, if you're coming in for the first time, welcome. There's some freebies in the description box below, link to my website where you can get a free book, and also at the end of this video, there are some more playlist awesomeness up in the corner here. So, what's this all about? Well, Flight Sim in P3D version 4. I had everything working great. I had beautiful frames. I was reinstalling a lot of my software that I'd had from the past, UK 2000, and one of the airports, suddenly my sim would not start, and it started literally the day previous and flew perfectly fine, beautiful frames, and then literally after one airport, now I don't know which one it was because I installed like 3 and then went flying, and then and everything I did try to do, it wouldn't work. Anyway, I basically decided to change the way I've been doing my simming. So the way I used to do it was my flight sim is on my C drive, which is a 1 terabyte SSD drive, and all my add-ons, all my airplanes are on the D drive, right? Which is a 4 terabyte HDD drive, and I would sort of junction link them back into my sim folder. So basically, we go into the D drive, these 3 files, so all my free add-ons and all my photo reel stuff is here, and this would be junction linked into my P3D folder. All my mega scenery would be here, which is where mega scenery would read it from anyway, so that was fine. And then Orbex would be here, which now they've allowed you to put all your add-ons on separate drives, and it knows about it. But whereas I used to have to junction link it back into the sim, basically I did it this way, but I used a program to do that. But now they've sort of caught on, and now they're doing it within their own app, which is great. And then I'd have my documents folder here with all my add-ons that were in my documents, and this again junction linked to my C drive where the documents were. Okay, and that's the way I used to run it, and it's fine, and it's kind of exactly the same way as I'm about to run it, but I don't have to use this junction link magic program in order to do what I'm about to do. I'm the junction link magic program, and I'm gonna basically use XML files to do exactly what that program would do. Now, the benefits of using that program, and it's a great program if you don't know how to play with XML files, is that you can decide, you can store your files wherever you want, and your sim will think that they're in the place that they should be in. So let's say if I install my P3D flight sim in, you know, the default location, it'll go into the C drive, and it'll go into program files, and there'll be one in there that says Lockheed Martin P3D version 4 with all the file structure there, and Orbex will start to throw in its own stuff. And in the old days, it used to put it in the sim folder itself, and you just have to deal with that. And what I used to do is to get around that is I used to take Orbex out of the flight sim, store it on a separate hard drive, but then use junction link magic to pretend to the sim that it was actually still sitting on the C drive. So it would read it from the C drive, but it would be coming from a separate drive. Now, this improved my loading times, and it gave me slight better performance, which is why I think Orbex are now doing it this way, but they're doing it through their version 4 app and allowing the XML to basically be that junction link. But the downside of using the junction link magic program is that it's not as quick transferring the files as it would be using the XML route. XML, it's more instantaneous, whereas the junction link magic, it is literally a tunnel through to the file system. So for whatever reason, using junction link magic is slower. So that's why I want to remove it. I don't want it junction linked in, I want to basically XML it completely. So that's what we're going to do, okay? It's achieving the same exact result, but it's having a much smoother time doing it, okay? So I've basically uninstalled every single thing to do with my flight sim, all my add-ons. The only thing that I've got left on my hard drive are these, well, 5 files now. That's just pictures. This is a dummy folder structure for when I install stuff. I always install to this location first, see what it's installed into my sim, and then decide what I'm going to do with it. So this is exactly how it would read on my C drive, and then of course you'd have your sim here. So when I go in the future now to install my things, I will install it to this location. It will still think it's being installed into the C drive's location of the sim, but I'm going to find out what the files are contained, because then I can move them into this folder here and sort them out myself. And I've sorted them out this way, which I don't know if this will be the final way I'm going to do it. I might do it by region as well, but I don't know. So all my add-ons, every single one of add-ons I have, will be placed as a separate entity in this P3D version 4 add-ons folder. And basically it's the same structure, for the file name at least anyway, that's going to be in the documents when I install the sim in the next video. And just to organize things in my mind, I've got aircraft. I'll have aircraft in here, I'll have airports in there, I'll have cities in here, I'll have scenery here with all their libraries here, and tools and utilities here. And then that's where the actual add-ons will sit. And then in the directory will be the XML files, which is what this is here. It'll just be the same folder structures as we see in each one of these folders, but inside each folder it'll just contain an XML, and that's it. And then all I have to do is when I want to go fly, I cherry pick the things I want to use, like the aircraft, the scenery, you know, the airports, and I pop them into this folder here, or I just quickly shift them across to documents, which I think that's probably what I will do. And it'll only be very quick because as you can see, an XML file is like 1 kilobyte. So to move like say 20 kilobytes will be instant, you know. And then when I load up the sim, it'll just say, do you want to activate, do you want to activate, do you want to activate? And I say yes. And then I can fly straight away. I don't have to go into my scenery library and start unticking things, or go into my add-on file system in the sim and start unticking things or reticking things, because I'm doing it outside of the sim. I don't know if this will be better performance, but for me, it's just a safeguard of in case there's a crash again in the future. That means everything that's an add-on will sit in this folder, not on my C drive. So when I do uninstall things, I don't lose anything basically, because it'll only remove the sim. Orbex is the only thing that I'm a bit nervous about, because they have their own sort of, this is everything I own for Orbex. So going into random one, they've got their own add-on XML thing here. So I mean, this is the way basically I'll be doing it. But if I start moving these files around, which I can do, and just change the path of the add-on XML, it still will work in my sim, not a problem. But when Orbex comes to update its products using the version 4 app, it's going to go, dude, where are they? You've moved them. I don't know where they are. And it's just going to mess everything up. Or I'd have to have double... Like, I'd have to have this file again on this hard drive. It'd just be a big mess, basically. So Orbex, I'm just going to leave alone. It can sort itself out, you know. And Mega Scenery eventually will move into this folder as everything in here. This is all my freeware stuff. All of this will move into here as well and be sorted out into these folders. I mean, that's probably what I'm going to do first, just so I know how to write an XML file. And see if it's working, and do it that way. And if it works, great. Then we can start adding in more stuff when we install it. But that's in the next video. In this video, what I want to talk about is prepping your computer first. there's a few programs I use, two main ones that I use to prep my computer. The first one is CC Cleaner, and you can use the free one. It's absolutely fine. And basically, it cleans your registry. So once you've uninstalled everything, clean your registry, scan for issues, fix selected issues, gone. I've already done it, so nothing really will come up by doing it, but you just click one button there and another button there once it's scanned. It's pretty quick scanning it, and it's done then. And it will basically, anything that's any file remnants or folders that are left behind in your registry from your sim, it'll just delete it, right? And so you won't have lingering things left behind. Now, it doesn't get everything. It's not a 100% foolproof thing, but it's 75%. It'll get 75% of everything, and it is worth getting. You know, it really is. So I always run this after I delete my flight sim off. And then another thing I do, and I only do this to my D drive. I don't do it to my C drive because my C drive is an SSD drive, 1 terabyte, doesn't need defragging whatsoever. But I defrag my D drive, which is a 4 terabyte HDD drive. And the program I use is this, Ultimate Defrag6. Now, this is an excellent program for helping your hard drive to perform better. You can tailor make it to put your files on the hard drive, which is this thing here. This green thing is basically my hard drive. You know, it sits. So this is the hard drive that's in my PC. This inside has a big wheel, a big circle, a big disc where all the information is stored, and a little arm thing moves to read, kind of like a LP, kind of like a vinyl with a needle prep, you know, on the disc. And it's reading the information, and a lot of the time the information is just thrown on the thing, and it's thrown everywhere. But if you consolidate the fragments of information into, like, say, for instance, into a whole piece. So in other words, if this folder, all the contents were in the same location on my hard drive, it would be easier to access, you know, for loading into my sim or using in my sim. And the same thing for all of these. Now, there is a certain way to do it, okay? There's a particular way, and it basically goes down like this. And by the way, when you get this program, I really recommend buying it. It's actually from the makers of Mega Scenery. The guy who designed or makes the Mega Scenery stuff designed this program, and he kind of specifically designed it for flight sim, but it's great for just PC use in general. In the manual that you get with it, he explains about your hard drive and the fact that the outer layers are where information is read quicker than the inner track, you know. So think of this like a record, and the inner song is going to be read slower to bring out than the outside layers, you know, because the arm has to reach down or something. I don't know. It's all explained in here. It's pretty detailed. I mean, it explains a lot more than just, you know, where to place your files. Okay, so really I recommend to read it. Try and track that PDF down if you can, even if you haven't got the program, because it really has got sort of a lot of helpful information. But basically what it boils down to is that it recommends that the files that you use the most, say like 80% of the time, put them on the outside tracks of your hard drive, and the files that you're going to barely use, put them on the inside, because when you use them, they're going to be slower to fetch the information than the information around here. So in other words, as you can see, my hard drive here is shared with a few other things. So I've got all my projects in here, my video editing, my music. So basically all these three I'm going to place around the inner tracks, and then the P3D file I'm going to place around the outer track, and it shows you how to do this. So it's really simple, okay? It's literally, once you set it up, it's click, click, click. And it's just as easy as that. So you go into your settings mode, right? And you look in high performance, and you want strict placement, folder, file name, right? Then you can start adding the files that you're going to put in, right? That you want to be high performance, i.e. around the outside track. Now, as you can see, this doesn't need defragging. I've already defragged this thing out. It's already been defragged, as you can see. I'm just showing you how to do it. So basically what you do is in the high performance zone, you know, it's the high performance area of the disk drive, which is basically the outer layers. The archive zone is your inner layers, okay? So strict placement sorted by file name, okay? I have it set to that. Basically, I mean, I could even, if I wanted to, I can select the files. I could literally just go in and go, right, that one, okay, right? And then that's selected, you know? And then just click OK, and then start, and it would basically move all my P3D files to the outer layer of the hard drive. And then I could go in again to the archive zone, click files and folders, select the files, and then just go 1, 2, 3. These are my archived ones. Put them in the middle. OK, right? And then click OK. And then as soon as I start it, right, it's now going to move all those things that I put for archive in the center and everything for P3D on the outside. Now, what does this mean? It means that when you go to loading items, add-ons for your P3D setup, your flight sim, and when you're using these, it's going to fetch the data much faster. So loading times are decreased and performance in the sim is a lot smoother. Okay, really recommend getting this. It's super helpful. Okay, and that's basically that's about it, really. You know, so now I've done all that. My hard drive is good to go. Now there are loads of other tips and tricks on your Windows settings. I'm personally not going to get into that because it's going to be different for everybody. I recommend Googling what is best for you, but there are literally about 11 different optimizations that you can do to your Windows operating system, right, to make it smoother for flight simulation, okay? I don't want to show a specific one because it might not work for you on your hardware. It works for me on my hardware, but everyone's going to be different. So on that, I'd say go Google and have a look at and then work out what's best for you and do that, okay? In the next episode, we're actually going to install P3D. I'm going to go through how you can reinstall different aspects of P3D. If, for instance, your scenery library is messed up, you just reinstall the scenery aspect of P3D and everything is fine. And we'll do that in the next video, and we'll start to install the flight simulator as well. I hope this has been helpful for you. Leave a like if it has. There are some other videos containing to flight simulation and making it smoother. I'm going to put them in the playlist here. There's one for your memory, which is a great super trick for optimizing your operating system to run flight simulation really smooth. And there's a few Orbex specific ones I popped in as well. Go have a look at them. Until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.